This poor guy is having a heart transplant today, but something is not right. His consciousness remained awake even when the doctor had injected him anesthetic, only his body could not move. He screamed in excruciating pain when the blade cut his flesh, but no one could hear those words. For the doctors, this is just a very normal surgery. Can you imagine that pain? He had only one way to ease his pain, thinking of his beautiful girlfriend. But he discovered that this was all her plan. It turned out that they were trying to kill him, and then inform other people the surgery had failed. What did he do that caused God to make him endure such torture? That guy is Clay, a very famous person. Clay owned a huge fortune of hundreds of billions of dollars at a very young age. He was just like a king. So where did that money come from? He inherited a large corporation from his own father. Clay witnessed his father's death with his own eyes. On a Christmas night many years ago, when his father was pretending to be Santa Claus to surprise him, he unfortunately slipped and fell down the stairs. He died but left a huge fortune for his wife and son. Although Clay didn't lack anything growing up, he did not have a happy childhood. He suffered from congenital heart disease, and without surgery, he could only live to 30 years old. His family also knew this. His mother loved him very much, but since Clay's father passed away, Clay would eventually take over the responsibility of taking over the corporation. Possibly due to a lack of love from his father and everything from his childhood was arranged by his mother, he became extremely stubborn and rebellious. His heart disease is not a new thing to the press, and his life and death have long been a topic of conversation among entrepreneurs. Shareholders and corporate partners are also very concerned about letting someone like Clay manage the business. On the other hand, Clay never cared about the opinions of those around him. He has fallen in love with a girl from a very ordinary background, Sam. She is just a nurse. His mother does not like her. She always has a very strange feeling about her son's girlfriend. She thinks that girl just wants to take advantage of her son. But Clay, with a stubborn personality, of course did not care about his mother's words, despite everything, to love this girl. He had a sweet and happy life when he spent time with her every day. Sam helped him escape the enormous pressure he endured for a long time. However, Clay was still very concerned about his health. He found his own doctor, Jack. He and Jack have become close friends since they met, and he also trusted this doctor very much. But he did not know that Jack also had a very close relationship with his girlfriend. Jack told Clay that the death rate from the surgery was very high, and if it succeeds, he wouldn't have lived much longer. And Clay should go home to discuss more with his mother, and tell her to be prepared for the worst. Clay's mother did not trust the doctor. Her intuition told her that something was wrong. She invited John, a leading doctor in the country, to perform surgery on her son, who was once trusted to operate the president. But Clay didn't care about his mother's suggestion. He decided to follow his opinion. He trusted John. Before the operation, he even secretly married Sam without informing his mother. The next day, they arrived at the hospital when they received news that 2 hours ago a person had died from a bullet hit. The suitable heart Clay needed was coming. He could have the surgery then. He was very happy, but now Clay's mom and Dr. John have come to prevent him from performing. Meanwhile, Sam also talked to his mother outside. The two were able to get to know each other better. Both Clay and his mother were deceived. They were unable to realize it was all just a conspiracy. These people had made a clear plan a year ago. As long as Sam could marry Clay, the assets Clay left after his death would be divided equally among the participants. He was in extreme physical and mental pain when he learned that the person who harmed him was Sam. He calmed down and understood everything. Clay recalled the things the doctor and his girlfriend had told him. Every little detail could prove that they knew each other. The truth is that Sam and Jack are a couple. They love each other and plan to kill him. Their plan was perfectly executed until the last step. They just needed to change his heart and inject toxic into it. He would surely die, and they would announce that the surgery had failed. But Jack hesitated now, afraid their plan would be discovered. Sam blamed him for being a coward and forced him to continue. All things seem to be over. Clay desperately hears Sam's fake and malicious apology, but he can do nothing. Now Jack and his friends are working together well to perform this act. They tried their best, but Clay didn't make it. Jack, pretending to be miserable, came before Clay's mother to inform the sad news.
The heart.
He's alive?
Yes, but his blood's being pumped by a machine. He has no heart.
Tears were flowing down her eyes. She told the doctors to go away. Minutes later, people found her dead while sitting right there. Now Dr. John has arrived, ordering his team to immediately
All right,
prepare
let's
for
prep her
surgery.
for surgery.
John and
Take
his
it
helpers
from here,
stormed Clay's
Jack.
operating
You
room,
can run.
announced he was taking over,
This will be
and
good,
told them the
Sam.
police had surrounded the place. Clay's mother was also brought in, and the surgery has been resumed. It turned out that the scheme of these bastards was discovered when she secretly read the letters in Sam's bag as she went inside. Clay was critical by the time. She had no time to condemn her. Because Clay's heart was destroyed by the others, she decided to commit suicide and use her own heart to save her son's life. The other doctors started to run away, but I was too late. The police arrived.
Hands up!
Jack hurriedly took Sam to flee, but now the brazen woman did not want to leave. She didn't have to run.
What?
She put all of her
They want you.
responsibility on Jack, and she still wanted to play the role of Clay's poor wife. Jack was furious, locked Sam outside, and told her she couldn't get away with it. Her fingerprints were also on the syringe and the letters too. No one can escape. Then Jack sat calmly waiting for his own results. John is such an excellent doctor. He successfully saved Clay. He was in a coma but also knew everything, only then realized how much his mother had loved him. Clay opened his eyes and looked at his mother, but it was all too late.